Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Joe Palmer begins now.
Good evening, everyone. 29 Tasmanians have been recognised for their contributions to the community, receiving today's Queen's Birthday honours. The list includes one of the state's richest people, emergency and health workers, and Tasmanians involved in creative projects.
This long weekend, Margot Lampkin directed and conducted a major choral music performance. It's this type of event and contribution to the community that is earning her an Order of Australia medal. She says it highlights the importance of music and music education.
It feels joyous for my choir members and my family that I've been doing this for so long and they've enjoyed it with me.
One of Tasmania's richest people is being made a companion of the Order of Australia. Dale Elphinstone founded the Elphinstone Group, a major employer on the northwest coast. The mining equipment manufacturer recognised for distinguished service to business and to the community of Tasmania. The former Vice-Chancellor of UTAS, Peter Rathjen, has been honoured for his contribution to higher education. Another leader, Tony Harrison, is receiving a medal for contribution to cricket as the former Cricket Tasmanian Chairman and Cricket Australia Director. Some of his career highlights: the expansion of women's cricket, the creation of the Hobart Hurricanes, and seeing the development of Tasmanian players.
My motivation was really to see Tasmania compete at the national level and give young Tasmanians, both men and women, the opportunity to represent Australia while living here. And, I'm very proud of that.
Andy Spate is one of the Tasmanians honoured for service to conservation. He's a keen caver who's been involved in Australian and international conservation projects.
Some of them, for example, contain archaeological deposits of very considerable significance. Some of them contain the most remarkable and sensitive fauna.
Professor Fiona Judd has a CV long with examples of her service to mental health. Currently at the Royal Hobart Hospital, she helps new and expecting parents.
If we can see psychiatry as being the important area that it is, then hopefully we'll get more support from both the community but also, of course, from government to improve mental health and improve the health of our population.
Kim Brundle-Lawrence is receiving an Order of Australia medal for service to the Northern Tasmanian community. She's volunteered with the Fire Service since 1990 and the Red Cross since 1965.
That's led me to quite a few states of Australia, working with floods and fires and cyclones and even here in our own state. Just knowing that you are making a difference in somebody's life for whatever reason is fine.
One of 29 Tasmanians receiving special recognition today. Michael Breen, 7 Tasmania News.
A 14-year-old boy has suffered serious injuries after riding his trail bike into a barbed wire fence near Scottsdale. The teenager was airlifted to the Royal Hobart Hospital, where he was placed on a ventilator after suffering injuries to his head, face and wrist. The incident happened at around 11:30 yesterday morning when the boy was riding with a friend and crashed into a cattle fence on Old Waterhouse Road. Investigations into the incident are continuing. Legislation to extend Tasmania's popular $20,000 first home owner grant is set to be introduced into State Parliament tomorrow. The initiative was announced in May's state budget to assist more young people into the housing market. But Labor intends to spend another week scrutinising the government's 4-year spending plans following a fiery week of budget estimates hearings.
This week is an opportunity for us to raise those issues and to really keep the pressure on the government over the key issues facing Tasmania: health, housing, child protection, and how we avoid over $1 billion of net debt.
What we'll be doing this week is ensuring that we continue with our strong plan to grow the economy, create jobs, invest in essential services and importantly put downward pressure on the cost of living.
It will be the final week for the lower house to bring on debate before a 6-week winter break. Students from a range of cultural backgrounds have spent the day training with Tasmania Police in an effort to break down barriers. As well as providing an insight into a potential career, the program helps frontline officers to better assist our growing multicultural community.
A day in the life of a recruit. These 15 students came to Australia as migrants or refugees. And today they learnt just what it takes to become a police officer.
It has been really good. It's so much fun. I've learned a lot.
The group from the Students Against Racism program spent the morning testing their fitness at the police academy before learning defence tactics from the latest round of trainees.
When I was a kid, I always had a dream to become a police officer, and when I came here, and then our teacher said like we are doing fitness training and all this stuff, and I was really so excited to do it.
As the population in Tasmania continues to be more diverse, Tasmania Police needs to represent that as well. So what we're aiming to do at the moment is increase our diversity in our recruit courses.
For some of the students, police in Tasmania are very different to those in their home countries. The program also offering an invaluable opportunity for our serving officers.
A lot of them have talked to us today about their fears of police, and even when they see us here in Tasmania, that they have that inbuilt fear of police. So what today's been about is trying to break down some of those fears.
I think it's awesome that we're sort of spreading the word, breaking down those barriers and, sort of overcoming those stereotypes within society, I suppose. So just giving them the opportunity to see that sort of stuff is awesome.
A day of learning for both students and teachers. Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
More wet weather is on the way, with the Bureau predicting westerly storms will develop over Tasmania tonight. The highest rainfall was recorded in the state's northwest, with Erebor recording 32 millimetres in the past 24 hours. Another cold front is expected to cross Tasmania on Wednesday. On the edges of dark Mofo, a Fringe Festival is also popping up at the Hobart Brewing Company. One of its offerings, a creepy auditory experience inside a pitch black shipping container.
Step inside, but don't expect to get comfortable. This unassuming shipping container next to the Hobart Brewing Company is playing with people's senses.
Oh my God! Yes!
A lot of our staff have. They said it's excellent.
In the darkness, it's terrifying.
Seance is an act taking part in the brewery's Fringe Festival. Patrons spend 20 minutes inside the container in pitch black conditions, listening to noises played through headphones, combining traditional seance techniques with sensory deprivation. It's designed to challenge people's idea of reality.
Not sure that sitting in the dark is quite for me, but I know that it's been really well received.
It's one of a number of acts that will happen at the brewery over the next 3 weeks, with Tasmanian talent featuring heavily on the bill.
12 or 14 local acts playing, and we just wanted to do our own thing.
Seance will be in Hobart until the 23rd of June, with performances running from Wednesdays through to Sundays. And judging by audience reactions, it's proving to be a unique experience.
It was an experience. I'm still...
A ghost train in your head.
Yeah.
It feels like someone is right there in your ear talking to you, and it sends like shivers down your spine.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
A Devonport Distillery has taken out top prizes in an international competition for 2 of its most popular gins, with one of the show-stopping spirits created only last year to lend a helpful hand to a struggling local farm.
It's said creating gin is a type of science, and for this distiller, his unique concoctions have resulted in 7 prizes at this year's World Liquor Awards in London.
It's fantastic. For such a little state to win such a major award, not only is it great for us, but it's great for our region and for local growers that help us make these products.
As well as Southern Wild Distillery's famous slow gin, its more recent strawberry spirit was also recognised on the global stage. It's made from fruit sourced from the Turner's Beach berry patch, who took a hard hit in the aftermath of the fruit fly crisis last year.
I couldn't understand personally how I would survive a whole year with no wages, and I just wanted to see if I could do anything.
with the helpful collaboration proving to exceed all expectations.
I just thought there's got to be something I can do to help our local growers, and I approached them. We got some strawberries and we created this product, and it's proved a phenomenal success ever since.
Supporting local businesses is a crucial part of the company's ethos, with the distillery using as much Tasmanian produce as possible.
It's also exceptional that I can go anywhere and just take that product. And the beauty of that is that I get to tell the seasonal story and I get to tell a regional one where we get to support a local grower, and hopefully we can help them make a difference to them.
Ruby Kamain, 7 Tasmania News.
Dark Mofo is taking guests to hidden spaces under the city of Hobart. It's running a special exhibition below street level for a show called Compost.
In the dank and dark basement of a CBD building, Compost takes visitors through a rarely opened space.
We managed to find this location. It was originally built as a merchant store, a warehouse, a place of commerce. And then it actually was used in the First and Second World War as a blood bank.
Underground amid the sandstone, artworks from multiple artists are themed around compost and transformation, like this skin shed by a snake.
I love the opportunity of working within unique spaces that have a great deal of history attached to it. And those histories often become integrated into my work.
On the other side of town, an artist is asking for confessions. The catch, you can't use words. People enter the booth and draw their confessions, passing it on to the artist for his reaction.
It does look at the idea of a conversation between people with that barrier. And when you don't have any idea of race, gender, age, sexuality within a conversation.
Tony Albert's wider exhibition exploring the contemporary legacy of colonialism.
There's a saying, ignorance is bliss. I mean, it's much easier to just not even think about it. But it's really important as a society that we do engage in these conversations, as difficult as they can be.
Michael Breen, 7 Tasmania News.
South Hobart has claimed its first Lacko Seljack Cup triumph since 2015 after beating the Devonport Strikers. Both teams were gearing up for extra time before a late brace of goals saw South Hobart win a ticket into the first round of the FFA Cup.
For the third time in 4 years, the Devonport Strikers and South Hobart met in the Cup final, with an FFA Cup place on the line. The Strikers went in as favourites, but it was South Hobart who put the early pressure on, Ben Hamlet forcing Nathan Pitchford into an early save. Devonport came close in the 12th minute, this creative backheel inches away from goal. Tensions were high, with every ball being strongly contested. South Hobart were then inches away from taking the lead, with an Adam Gorry deflected cross rattling the post.
It deflects off the post! Oh, lots of fortune there.
And then Lacko Seljack could have opened the scoring in the cup named after his grandfather.
To Lacko Seljack, blocked on the line, he's a handball.
Devonport's Max Fitzgerald tested Graham Wright's reflexes, his lob just over the bar. South were upbeat at the break, with Strikers coach Rick Coughlin publicly showing his dissatisfaction. The second half started a little tighter as the rain began to play a part. Devonport's Joel Stone was causing headaches as the game went on.
Comes through to Stone, just defended, and the shot from distance.
South Ben Hamlet came close yet again, as the match appeared to be heading for extra time. Max Fitzgerald then thought he'd put the Strikers in front, but his goal was disallowed for a foul. They then somehow missed this sitter with minutes left. It would prove costly.
Goes to the back post and it's volleyed home! It's Toby Hawaiian with a perfectly placed volley!
Van Dorn then scored in injury time to seal their first cup victory in 4 years. And the Hobart Zebras won the women's final 3-1, with their stunning goal from Danielle Canna-Jesus sealing the win. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Great goal. Well, Jake Birtwistle is clutching his first World Triathlon Series gold after chasing down the race leader in a nail-biting finish. The Tasmanian says it's a special win against one of the strongest triathlon fields ever assembled. After finishing in the mid-20s in his last 2 triathlons, few would have expected Jake Birtwistle to make such a stunning turnaround in Leeds. But something looked different. Maybe the pressure was off.
He had one of his best swims yet and was 15th when he finished on the bike. He entered the run leg 7 seconds behind the leader, and it was clear this wasn't one he was going to let go, not least when there was a new title he'd never been able to touch before. With 2 kilometres to go, the Tasmanian claimed his final scalp, and at the finish line, his maiden World Triathlon Series gold.
There are some who thought he should have won a race by now, but he's won one of the biggest of them all. One of the most hype races ever. And Jake Birtwistle breaks his WTS run and wins for Australia.
It's been a long time coming, going after that top step of the podium. So, yeah, today, I guess after a rough start to the early part of this year, I haven't really put together a good race that I've been proud of. So, yeah, it's nice to finally come out and be able to give a performance and kind of, I guess, show the world what I'm capable of.
It's that time of year again for Richie Port. He's officially in Tour de France mode after finishing the first stage of a key lead-in event, the Critérium du Dauphiné. He's never won this tour, but has finished second twice. Last night, he finished safely in the peloton in 42nd position and admitted post-race the steep climbs were a shock to the system. There was a rush of blood to the head for Hobart's Eddie Ockenden.
That was a silly tackle from Ockenden. He's picked up a green card.
Upending the Brit earned him a 2-minute penalty. The Kookaburras eventually went down in a shootout to Great Britain. Tassie pair Sarah Haywood and Matt Everett will soon begin qualifying at the World Archery Championships in the Netherlands. And Darian Titmus will contest the 200 metres freestyle heats tomorrow after setting a new Commonwealth record in the 400 metres final at the World Swimming Trials. The result means she will swim in next month's world titles in South Korea.
Good evening. 15 was the state's warmest today in Devonport, 14 in Launceston and Burnie and Hobart reaching a high of 13. Other centres today, a high of 16 across Flinders Island, Friendly Beaches and Grove, Smithton and Lowhead reaching 14, Ooze 9 and Liaweenie a top of 7. On the close-up, a cloud band is crossing the state ahead of a cold front. Thunderstorms also developed over the Bass Strait and off the northeast coast. Further out, a cloud band and a cold front are crossing the southeast of the continent. Thunderstorms can be seen over the mainland and east coast of Tasmania. Tomorrow shows a high pressure system over northern New South Wales, which is extending a ridge over Victoria and Tasmania. A cold front is also crossing Western Australia and moving across the Bight. Westerly winds 20 to 30 knots tomorrow, swells up to 3.5 metres in the west and south and up to 1.5 in the north. A gale warning is current for southern eastern coastal waters from Tasman Island to southeast Cape for westerly winds. A strong wind warning for northern coastal waters from Stanley to St Helens. Another strong wind warning for the lower eastern coastal waters from One Glass Bay to Tasman Island. And finally, a small craft wind alert for the southwest and central plateau lakes. Tomorrow's forecast now looking partly cloudy in Hobart and Adventure Bay, at 13 in Tarraleah. In the north, partly cloudy and 17 across Launceston and Devonport, 16 in Bridport. A possible shower in Burnie tomorrow, 15 in Strawn and Marrawa, a high of 15. A sunny day for both St Helens and Swansea tomorrow and a top of 16 in Whitemark. Looking to the 3-day forecast now, Wednesday rain is developing about the north and west, extending statewide in the afternoon. Thursday, showers about the northwest and far south, and finally Friday, showers about the northwest and far south, fine elsewhere. Capital cities, sunny across Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane, 21 in Adelaide, Perth 16, and cloud is clearing in Canberra, reaching a high of 16. And on to current temperatures, Hobart 13 and cloudy, Launceston 11 and Devonport 12 and clear. That's all in weather tonight. Back to you, Jo.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Jackie. That's all from the team for now. We will, of course, see you with updates throughout the evening. Have a lovely night. Bye for now.